Welcome everybody. Holly, Susan, Kim. Oh, there's more people coming.
Jeff is on the
Zoom.
Portland Cider mime. He was talking like crazy and telling us all about these things.
Yes.
It's a new feature that they're offering at Portland Cider.
Some people think it's an English-inspired cider, but it's actually French, which is where Jeff went to mime school before he met his lovely wife Linda. No, I'm kidding. That's probably actually really offensive to English folk. anyway, we'll keep going.
Live entertainment, so Jeff has just started. He's become the live entertainment, and so he's just a mimer in the Portland Cider House. So
he is so good at it. He's so good at it. So welcome everyone. We are in month 7 of our challenge. This is our 7th challenge.
I've lost count. I don't even know what
April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It is our 7th challenge. Collectively this month we've run, well, I haven't checked for a few hours because it changes constantly, run and walked over 1,300 miles, which is very exciting. It's cool, and I love hearing from folks when we get to see you at our pickup parties, at our other events. All right, somebody needs to mute themselves. Oh, that's the cleansing household. That's okay. That's okay. See, this is why I have sequestered myself literally in a closet in our mudroom. For those of you new here, which might only be Jeff, this was a coat closet like 8 months ago. This is fuzzy material to kill sound that I got at the fabric store. But we're excited to have you guys here. This is also streaming on Facebook. This is also going to be turned into a little podcast episode. But I'm really excited to talk to Jeff about Portland Cider Company, what they've been doing to survive this pandemic, a little bit about some new ciders that they have, and then I think I should probably open this right now. Their community PDX community cider project. I actually just picked this up about 2 hours ago. Katie from Portland Cider was kind enough to give me a few cans of this, and so this is exciting to have some of this. It is happy hour, so if other folks are drinking something, can you hold it up? I'm gonna take a little screenshot. Holly, where are you? I just realized you've got a beach behind you. That's exciting. Can I unmute you? Tell us where you are. Wait, unmute. Okay. Wait, I think you have to accept my unmuting. Maybe.
There.
Yes.
I'm at Cannon Beach. I had to come down and clean my house, so.
Well, that sounds rough. I'm really sorry.
It was, but I'm done now.
Well, congratulations. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to unmute Jeff now because I'm excited to talk to Jeff. Jeff and I have sat down over cider 2 or 3 times now, something like that, Jeff. Once at Clackamas, once at Hawthorne. Where are you right now?
I am in what we call the snug at Clackamas. That's
the snug?
Just a little.
Oh, sure.
Way back when, this was our head cider maker's office until we needed to turn it into taproom space. So
nice. Okay, yes, I know exactly where you are. I was actually out your way today. I took my 3 daughters and we walked the course because I figured it would give us something good to do, get out there and just kind of double check. And so I was out that way. And then this afternoon, like I said, I was at the cider house. So first of all, how are you guys doing? Both maybe personally, professionally? I would love to hear a little bit about just how you're doing. That's kind of how I open all these conversations because I feel like it's helps all of us just to commiserate, perhaps.
I mean, I think for everybody, 2020 has just been the nuttiest year in our company's history, right? I mean, let me start off. We are doing great, surprisingly enough. Portland Cider Company is doing fantastic. Our tap rooms are only doing half the visits that we had before COVID, but people are really thirsty, and so I've heard filling a lot of cans, and we've had a record summer as a result. Wow. Not just that. We did a whole lot of things over the last year or so that when COVID hit and everybody pivoted to the grocery stores, it kind of amplified those efforts. And so we're doing awesome. We were a little sketchy at one point in the summer trying to get cans because everybody was wanting cans. And over the summer, we got our own canning line installed for the first time. And so,
wow, that's awesome.
A lot of trials and tribulations doing that, but it's in and running. And that can that you just poured out of, you know, is the product of our new sleeving machine and our canning machine. And I mean, it's great.
Wow. Did you, early on, did you guys have to lay people off? Were you able to weather that pretty well, or what did, and we don't have to get too deep into the books here.
Sure,
But
no, that's fine. Well, I mean, when we had to shut down the tap rooms completely, right? I mean,
right.
We kept both managers on payroll, and then all the part-time hourly staff, yeah, we had to lay off. But, you know, I mean, fortunately, they were well taken care of with, you know, what Congress did for folks. And then as we were allowed to reopen, then we brought, I would say 60 to 70% of those folks back, although not everybody has the same hours they had before. But,
sure.
But like I said, our tap rooms are now open most of the hours they were, but only doing half the business.
Gotcha. And you, because I know that being in Clackamas County, they were open, I think you guys opened end of May, and then Hawthorne was like in middle into June, something like that.
I think it was second, third week of May, and then Hawthorne opened up in June because they're in Multnomah County. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I'm curious, where you said you're doing about half the business, but is that just because you're limited to size? Are people still, I know I'm really excited anytime we get to go out. Like what's that been like?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's interesting. You know, here at the Clackamas location, space is not an issue for us. We have tons of space. And we took all the tables that otherwise would have been in our dining room and we scattered them about the game room and such. So we have all the seating that we used to in twice the amount of space, but I think folks just aren't going out, you know, like they did beforehand. I mean, I'll be honest, personally, you know, we're not going out as much. Yeah. You know, we're not spending as much in restaurants, you know, so that's kind of, I think, the situation. But as I said, you know what, I mean, we as a whole are doing great because that's always kind of been the side portion of our business. And we are just cranking out cider like crazy still.
That's so great to hear, because, you know, I've interviewed a lot of folks that are not in that position. And I think everyone, you know, any sort of trials or anything that comes up, you know, it's like it gets fire tested and you see where the weak links are or the really good things. So that's cool to hear that maybe you guys almost inadvertently set yourself up well to weather a global pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, it has been kind of weird. I mean, not having events, that's really weird, right? I mean, we got this really cool mobile tap room that's just collecting dust out and back, and yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of events, we're excited to be there this Saturday. I got to ask you, I hear you might be injured. Are you going to run with us? What's the story, Jeff?
Yeah, here's the story. So, you know, I'd been battling a chronic injury for the last 3 years. Matter of fact, every time that I participated in one of the runs, it was always injured, and, you know, and so when COVID hit, a lot of responsibilities, you know, I couldn't take the time out that I needed to. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this period to really let myself heal. And so that's what I did. I mean, ironically enough, I tried to kind of start training again so I could participate this weekend. But I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I'd love to set a benchmark time and give away a cider to everybody who beats that time. But I'm not sure I can afford to do that right now because my time would be pretty slow.
I understand. You know, that's okay. I mean, as a former runner at Oregon, I'm sure that you've got a lot of residual miles. You could still probably get out there and beat many of us, but I totally, and it's not about that. It's not about the competition, but are you able to like, I mean, wearing so many hats, have you been able to have a little, I don't know, downtime or enjoying this? I hear lots of stories of people who are like, oh, I took up making bread or juggling or learning another language. As a small business owner, I imagine you're not having a lot of that free time to binge Netflix.
He learned how to mime, Nathan. We already
Oh, right. We covered this already.
Talked about that earlier.
Sorry, Drew.
We learned how to mime. That's very funny. I mean, I think Linda and I each have our own little ways that we unwind, and you have to make time. And for me, I go fishing, and I go drive a car fast around a road course racetrack. So those are the two things that I do to blow off steam. And I did get out and do that this summer, but I didn't exercise a whole lot.
Well, maybe you did what you need to do. Where do you drive a car fast around a racetrack? That sounds like fun.
Portland. Oh, it's a blast. It's the most fun you can have outside the bedroom, Nathan. I'll tell you that much. Boom, push. Yes. So Portland International Raceway, and there's some other tracks up in Washington that I drag a old 30-year-old BMW up to and just go out and have a great time.
That sounds like a blast. So maybe for our event on Saturday here, instead of you running it, we can see how fast you can drive the course in that, and then we could use that.
Sure. We could better yet, what we could do is we could clock how long does it take for me to get arrested as soon as I take off in my race car from the cidery.
I think my initial idea has just evolved into something. You're just an unstoppable good idea machine here, Jeff.
Considering the Clackamas County Sheriffs, I mean, they've got an office just down the road there. So, I mean, I make enough noise, I'm sure I could attract some attention, and it'd be like Grand Theft Auto all over again,
Well, maybe we'll have to do another run, or we will do another run next year. And then we go more back to normal, and maybe you can run with us at that point.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. But we're really excited. We're, this will be our third event since March. The other two being just previous 2 weeks. And it's, we're excited, a little bit nervous, but we're excited. We're happy that, you've opened up your space and it's so large, we can spread out. I mean, the social distancing aspect of that should be a piece of cake. You mentioned your lovely wife, Linda, and I saw just like moments before I hopped on here that she was just awarded the Women in Leadership Award by the North Clackamas Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
That was kind of cool. I mean, very well deserved. She was nominated by our staff. Got a Women in Leadership for Entrepreneurship. And so, that's cool. Kind of cool. Well deserved for her.
Yeah. That's very cool. I don't know if that affords her any additional clout with the sheriff's department in case you did want to get out and run around in the car.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's very funny because we have an employee whose husband is a sheriff.
Oh. There you go.
So
there you go. Yeah. It's perfect. Okay. Enough goofiness. I want to talk about the cider. This is kind of the main thing that I really wanted to talk with you about because it's a huge deal. And I'm going to tell you something you don't know about the cider, Jeff. You do not know that my brother, who lives right over here in Southeast, brought you, I think, around 100 pounds of apples from his backyard.
Can you taste them in there? I
can't exactly, because he also made some pies out of them, and so I can taste it. I think it was this last sip. But no, it was kind of cool because they've lived in Portland about a year, and he had these trees, as many of us do, and he's like, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? And I said, actually, and it's like, I don't know if they're doing it this summer, but you are. And let me see, where are my notes here? Last year, you raised like over $11,000. So let me back up. Actually, why don't you explain what exactly this is, and then we'll get into all these fun numbers.
That sounds great. Well, so you're drinking, and I'm drinking right now.
Yeah.
This is our community cider. So this is the 50th year where we invite folks to bring in backyard apples and pears and plums and various cherries. I mean, any edible fruit growing in their backyard. Bring it on in, and we will throw it into this cider. And so this is the 5th year, and
which is very good. Not to interrupt you, but it's
I
lovely.
mean,
It
is a really fun cider because you just don't know what you're going to get, right?
Right.
And so we got a lot of apples, a lot of pears, a little bit of berries, a little bit of cherries.
Too many plums is what I read.
Yeah, we did.
You had to say no more plums.
Yeah, we had to say no more plums. We got too many plums. So this is the 5th year, and I mean, it's just amazing. So last year we were shocked that we got 20,000 pounds of fruit. So that's on the order of, you think of those big apple bins that, you see out at farms and such. So 20,000 pounds is like 25 of those bins.
Whew.
All right. We got 50 bins this year. I mean, it was,
wow.
I got to tell you, I have to applaud our production folks because it was a crazy year and summer just keeping up with demand. And then we got all this fruit coming in, and every 4 or 5 days, I got to say, hey, 2 of you, I got to press apples all day, And so, I mean, hey, they stepped up. Linda and I drug our college and high school age kids out of bed at noon on a Saturday and made them come down and help us press.
Good for you. Family business, kids.
It was. And so, so this is a result of all that. And so, because traditionally we would sell pints out of our tap rooms, we would sell kegs to other pubs and restaurants, and they would sell pints and donate money. And so that's how we created the revenue last year. Well, this year, because of COVID, that's a tough order to try to move that much cider by the pint. And so we were able to partner with local retailers, big grocers, little grocers, independents, to get commitments to put our cans on the shelf. And so that's kind of what happened. And so we've got 6-packs, we have proper pints. And so, 10% of the gross sales of all that is going to go towards our donation. And we will exceed that 11 grand this year easily.
Well, and that was a doubling of the year before, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
It's kind of, it doubled the last 2 years. I don't think we'll quite double this year, but it certainly has grown. And really with the benefits going to Hunger Free Oregon, and specifically their program that helps close the food scarcity gap with kids, it's more important than ever right now.
Yeah, it's so cool, and that's been your partner for this whole time, I think, correct?
We started out the first couple of years. It was Oregon Wild, which is a watershed conservation group.
Yes.
And worthy cause, but we wanted to do something that we felt like was a more direct impact on the community, and Hunger Free Oregon certainly is that.
Yeah. Well, and it's just cool that this year, I mean, with schools closing and all the reports we've all read about, kids not being able to get food, that this organization is doing that, and you're specifically helping that, which what a perfect opportunity to have a very real impact. So it's $2 from every 6-pack is going. Is that right?
Well, there's 2 things. So 10% of the gross sales of all the community cider, and then everything else we sell. So all the other ciders that we're producing, like if you've got a 6-pack, kind of dry,
like a kind of dry,
right, so the 6-packs, the 19-ounce portion of those sales are going towards, that same program.
And this is I also have a grape here. Do you still have the grape right now?
Yeah.
I don't remember when I got this, but yeah, that's so cool. I mean, Katie was telling me that, and I was like, that's incredible that not only are you doing well enough that you can do that, but it's such a generous thing. And I love that, part of our mission is giving back. And so it's cool when you're able to partner with another organization that has a similar mindset. And so that's awesome. And you may have said this, I may have missed it, the first time in cans for this.
Yeah, it was never in a package. So this year,
you could never do before.
No, I mean, it's pretty cool. And, I got to hand it to our suppliers. I mean, the folks that we get our sleeves from, our boxes from, I said, hey, look, I need you to cut the price of this so we can donate more of the proceeds. And everybody stepped up. So it was a pretty great thing.
Nice. Well, good job. And I encourage everyone watching, both on Zoom and the millions of people on Facebook Live, go check this out. So you said you've partnered with retailers. Off the top of your head, is that Fred Meyer's, Trader Joe's, New Seasons? Basically everywhere?
Not everywhere. Specifically Fred Meyer's, Safeway, Albertsons, Whole Foods.
Okay.
If you go to our website, portlandcider.com, you look at our cider finder, that cider will be in there, and you can see all the places it's being sold. But Safeway, Albertsons, and Freddy's are great places to start. They're major retailers that have partnered to go ahead and carry it.
Fabulous. Well, again, thank you for doing that. I want to ask you a few kind of random questions about cider and Portland Cider Company. Anything else that you think is important to know about this, or just any fun stories in the process? I know that on your Facebook page you have, is it Devin? Duran. Oh, I was way off. Sorry.
That's all right.
I got the D.
Our head cider makers.
Head cider maker, Duran.
Yeah. Has
this cool video where they're showing how they take the apples and wash them all by hand and put them into the German pressing machine. And
yes.
He says it looks gross, but it tastes really good.
Yeah.
Is there just any, I don't know, fun stories about the process that you'd like to share?
Well, I mean, so when you get done pressing all that juice, you've got all that, what we call apple pumice, right? Well, I've got a neighbor who raises cows. So all that leftover apple from the backyards has been feeding cows. And then we had somebody who raises pigs who said, hey, can I have some of that? So we've been feeding cows, we've been feeding pigs with all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, that apple pressing operation you saw is messy business.
He was wearing swimming trunks, I think.
Well, he really wasn't in the middle of that. But it is messy business because that same equipment is what Linda and I and all the family members we could coax into our old cidery. That's how we pressed the juice that we fermented when we started, 7.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it is the messiest thing you'll do. I tell you what.
But it's got to smell good, right?
It smells amazing. I mean, the whole cidery, 20,000 square feet, smells like apples.
Wow.
It's a messy business.
It sounds like to me we're planning a run the week that you do that next year, and we'll help participate in the pressing process. So
I'll tell you what, what? That's a great idea. If you want to back it up a month in the calendar, we'll have all day pressing.
It's done. It'll be a blast. We'll just make a big fat party out of it. It'll be so much fun.
That sounds like a great idea. So we'll plan on pressing. Jeff will get uninjured and run with us, and it'll just be a glorious September of 2021. We can all look back on 2020 and laugh at the silly pandemic and everything that got canceled. That's awesome.
Sure. It's going to be nothing but a big party next year.
Exactly. Huge party all over. Okay, a couple sort of random things, but just things I was reading. Did I see you guys have a pumpkin spice cider, and is that new?
No, it's not new.
Okay,
but we didn't make it last year.
Okay.
So we got some bad advice from one of our distributors who said, the pumpkin thing's kind of old news. Don't make it. Big mistake. Big mistake. And we had people so upset, so we ended up making and selling our tap room. And so it's matter of fact, I'm going to give you guys the secret to our pumpkin spice cider.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody write this down.
Go find a Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. That black and white checkerboard cookbook that your mom probably had a 3-wing binder version of.
Yep.
Open up the pumpkin spice. Open up the pumpkin pie recipe, and that spice mix is what we use to make our cider.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, and I've asked you this before, so I'm kind of asking you this to tell other people. At what point does, I've got the grape cider, we got the pumpkin cider. At what point is it no longer a cider, or is it always a cider because apples are the base?
Right. Well, I mean, That's a great question, and I know a lot of English people that would argue about that question with what I'm going to tell you.
All right, all right.
But yeah, I mean,
Juicy.
everything we make starts with 100% fresh pressed apple juice, and that kind of dry you had, nothing but apples in that. The grape, we take that same apple cider and we throw a little Concord grape juice in it, right? And then the pumpkin spice, we've got this nice big old kettle. You could probably cook 500 pounds of crawfish in, but we throw cider in that big kettle and put spices and make a spice cider. So, I mean, it's all based on apples. So it's all cider, but you might have a fruit cider, a spice cider, or you've got a nice regular cider. Okay.
Interesting. So what would the English folks, they just, if it's not pure, it's not cider?
Well, I'm just saying that, I mean, there's some, in the craft beer community, you've got some purists, right?
Sure.
That, I mean,
okay.
Anyways, so what
Fair
it's
enough.
all cider as far as we're concerned.
Okay. Well, I can appreciate that then. And it's fun to try different kinds. I don't know if any of you watching have ever been to the cider house. How many do you have on tap? There's like 30 something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, about 30 taps.
30 taps. I mean, go with a friend or two, and everyone gets something different. And it's amazing how different ciders taste with different spices and ingredients. And it's quite an adventure.
Well, and it can taste dramatically different based upon the apples that go into it, right?
That too, yeah.
Our kind of dry is pretty consistent because it's the same 5 apples that, you can find on the grocery store shelves.
Sure.
You Honeycrisp, Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, Gala, and, and like Pink Ladies, right? That's what goes into most of our cider. But, you can get some cider fruit with obscure names you've never heard of, French names.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. And it just tastes completely different, I mean, and so you've got a chance to experience that too. But, we don't have access to those really unusual apples here, at least not in large quantities at an affordable price. And so that's, you've got to innovate. So hence all those interesting things that we do. But I got to tell you, this community cider, I mean, it probably had 100 different varieties of apples. Everybody brought something in. Nobody knew what it was. We didn't care. As long as, it wasn't rotting, we pressed it.
Yeah. It's really good. I mean, I've almost accidentally just kind of chugged this. It's only a 12 ounce here, but it does taste very unique. It's the description is a beautiful blend of fruit from Portland's backyards that is slightly wild, tart, and juicy with rich stone fruit. It's I always think of, this is going to sound corny maybe, but Portland is such an eclectic place, and it's fun to have a cider that kind of represents that weirdness, to use the city catchphrase.
That's right. And the cool thing, I mean, we had retirees, we had young people. I mean, I think one of the reasons we had such a successful donation program is that, there are a lot of people working from home with time on their hands.
Yep.
And so it was just, the donations were just constant and generous and really fun.
Great.
Yeah.
It's so great. And I saw you had a no contact pickup thing. And it just seemed like the process was very easy. In talking with my brother, it was like, he's like, I don't know why I'm gonna do this every year. It's like,
right. I mean,
pretty simple.
We had folks, basically you just called the number and we came out and picked them out of the back of your car or pickup and dumped them in the bin. And if you wanted the containers back, you got them back. If you didn't, we recycled them.
Yeah.
And
that's so great.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, thank you so. Oh wait, one more. Sorry, my last thing here. And again, this may not be new, but I'm just learning about it. You have a cider club, a monthly subscription thing.
Yes.
Just talk briefly about that. That seems cool.
It's a lot like a wine club.
Sure.
And it just gives an opportunity for folks that maybe can't get to a store, don't have a store near them, but love cider and want to try our cider. And so every month you get, You get a box, half a dozen 19-ounce cans. It rotates every month. The new stuff goes in there. Even stuff that we hand crowler goes in there. And you can order extra things, but it's just a way for folks who are a fan of our cider. Maybe you came to Portland, tried the cider, can't find it where you're at. You know, that's a way to get it. It's just a West Coast only program for Oregon, Washington, and California at the moment.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, it is cool. It's a lot of work, and it's really expensive to ship cider.
Yeah.
You know, so I wish it was a better value for those who are out of state, but nonetheless, there are some folks who I think appreciate the value in it.
Yeah.
And
well, there's got to be something fun too about just the curation of seeing what it is and what you maybe couldn't sort of get on your own.
Sure.
Is that a new since COVID thing, or have you had?
Yeah, it's a since COVID thing.
It is. Okay.
We launched it. I think the first one was in May. The first shipment was in May. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I thought. Well, Jeff, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you feel like we need to know about in relation to Portland Cider Company? Anything?
I wish I was where Holly is, because that looks absolutely beautiful there on Cannon Beach on the coast.
I know. Don't we all?
That is really nice. No, I just want to thank everybody, you know, that does make it on Saturday. I'm sorry that I can't be running with you, and I'm sorry we can't be running together. But I think what you guys have done is a fantastic adaptation, you know, to make it a fun, safe, you know, version of the kind of congregation that, you know, we're all yearning for, but really can't be doing right now.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you for hosting us, and we really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
All right. Well,
Jeff, the last thing we do is we have a raffle, and we usually give out about 5 things. And since there's only 5 people on this call today, all of you except Drew and Jeff are going to get a 6-pack of this community cider that we're going to buy for you. So it's not a donation, Jeff. I just wanted to tell you that in case you're like, wait a second. So we're going to get that for you. And we also are going to give you, I think, are all of you Brew Crew members already? I think so. Is anyone not a Brew Crew member? We're also going to give out a free entry. So how about this? If you're not a Brew Crew member, email me, and we're going to get you a free entry to the run on this Saturday. The last thing I just wanted to point out too is that we have these great shirts for October is Cancer Awareness Month that we have designed. It says "Life is Brutiful." I'm gonna let Drew talk about it. I think he's gonna say something about it. He made them, or maybe not. No, maybe not. Anyway, they're cool. I'm gonna find a link here. But you can pre-order those and then pick them up on Saturday or any other Saturday at other events that we have this fall. So, Drew and Michelle, any final thoughts? Anything I missed? Make sure that you log your miles on our Strava thing. I see Drew unmuted. Maybe not.
You're good.
Okay, we're good. Awesome. All right. Well, the last thing that we do here is we kind of already did this, but everybody raise if you're drinking something, and we're gonna get a screenshot here if I can get it. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And like the kids do, I'm going to unmute everyone, and we're going to say goodbye. Let's see. Unmute all. I think you have to request it. You know, being a part of a 2nd grade classroom every day is just awesome. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Jeff.
See you later.
Have fun.
Have fun.
See you guys later. Bye.